My band t-shirt is old, I am cold, brr, Chicago is freezing, and we're gonna turn it into a sweatshirt. And we're gonna do that by taking the artwork on this Slayer t-shirt and putting it on a sweatshirt.
Excellent!
You can get a sweatshirt from your closet, you could get one from a store locally, or you could totally make your own. If you need help making a sweatshirt, make sure you check out my tutorial on that. There'll be a link down below. Before we move any further in this project, you need to make sure that you have some lightweight heat and bond. So heat and bond is a double-sided fusible. So grab yourself some heat and bond and let's move on. Next, we are going to cut apart this t-shirt. Oh my God. The first thing we need to do is open up this t-shirt. So we are going to cut down the side of it so that way we can open it up and get the artwork flat. There we go. The front of my t-shirt is nice and flat, and now it's just one layer. Now that I've got the one layer, I want to make it smaller. So I want to cut closer to the logo, but not too close because we need extra on the sides so that way we can have our heat and bond. So I'm going to leave a few inches all the way around this logo here. Rest of it, trash, rags, recycle it. Okay, so we've got our logo, and now we need a piece of heat and bond about the same size, but you don't want it bigger than the t-shirt that you've cut out because it's glue and you will get glue everywhere. So if I lay this heat and bond over the logo, looks like I need to cut right outside of this. And then that's going to be big enough, and it looks like I need to cut a little off the top here because we don't want that glue outside of the t-shirt. Okay, that looks pretty good. Next, we need to iron on this heat and bond. So the side that feels rough, we're gonna iron onto the back of the logo. Whatever you do, do not iron this to the front of your logo on your shirt. Otherwise, you are gonna ruin it. Think about it like ironing on a giant sheet of glue. Ugh, it would be a disaster.
Bogus.
So if you're enjoying how to take your t-shirt and make it into a sweatshirt, make sure you subscribe to Sew Anastasia so that way you know when all the new videos come out. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for watching today. Now let's get back to making the sweatshirt. So we've got the wrong side of the shirt face up. I've got the rough side of the heat and bond face down. And now we are going to take a nice hot iron and we are gonna run it right over it. You can use the steam if you want. And voila, that is glued down just like that. You might be wondering why I have muslin on part of my ironing board, and that's to make sure that I don't get glue from the heat and bond on my ironing board, because then we would get glue everywhere. Now we're going to cut out the logo. So what we need to do is leave some space, so about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch all the way around the logo. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut through all the layers. We have that heat and bond on the back, and we're just gonna carefully cut all the way around our logo. You can always go back and trim it up if you wanna cut out more or less, etc. Like maybe you wanna make this round, or do you wanna cut into this shape here? That's totally up to you. Ooh, let's see, there's a year on my shirt. It's from 2000. I saw Slayer back in 2000. Crazy. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good and I'm happy with that shape there. Now that we have our artwork cut out and we got our heat and bond on the back, it's time to apply it to our sweatshirt. Now what we need to do is place our logo on the sweatshirt. Then we need to measure it out and make sure it is center. So I'm going to be measuring 2 inches down from the neck, and then I'm measuring out 6 inches from my armhole. This could be different for you depending on the size of your shirt. But before we go over to the iron, we need to make sure that we remove the backing of the heat and bond. So you're just going to peel the paper away. Make sure you're not peeling up your glue. If you are, you want to go and iron it down again. Okay, so we've got the glue there on the back of the logo, and now we're going to position it exactly where we want it, and we're gonna head back over to the iron and we're gonna give this a good iron. So make sure you don't have any wrinkles under your logo here, otherwise they're gonna be glued in place permanently and it's not gonna look good. So now that you've got it in place, go ahead, take your iron, lots of hot steam, and go ahead and just iron the heck out of it. You want this to stick to the front of your sweatshirt, so that way when we go over to the sewing machine, it's going to be in place. And if you don't know if it's sticking or not, just go ahead and lift it up. And is it in place? It sure is. So let's go over to the sewing machine. You might be wondering, why do I need to sew this down if I've already kind of glued it down? Well, that glue is not gonna hold forever, and you're probably gonna put it through the wash once or twice, and it's gonna start to peel and fall apart. And we want this shirt to last forever, another 20 years. Slayer shirt 2040, here we come. I'm going to be using some embroidery thread today. You could also use all-purpose thread. You also might want to change out your needle because a t-shirt is stretchy fabric, a sweatshirt is stretchy fabric, and that means you're going to need a ballpoint needle. Now, I'm just gonna leave my needle in that I have, and well, let's see how it goes. You also might be wondering, what stitch am I going to use to sew this down? I'm going to be using the satin stitch. It's a stitch used for applique, which we are doing, and it is a condensed zigzag stitch. So if you don't have a specific stitch for this on your machine, you can take your zigzag stitch and make it have a really, really small stitch length, and then that gives you a satin stitch. So we start the satin stitch, we wanna make sure that our sewing machine is in the middle of our shirt. You don't wanna sew these two layers together, otherwise you're never gonna get in your sweatshirt. So when we start, we wanna start at any old edge, whatever edge works for you, and we are going to work our way all the way around all the corners, all the turns, until you get to where you started. And make sure you're back stitching or fixing so that way this doesn't fall apart. Here we go. When you start this, if it's not moving, you want to make sure you make your stitch length a little longer. You'll notice that my stitch is going on and off the t-shirt applique here that we're creating, so finishing the edge of the t-shirt patch. And we're done. Slayer 2040, here we come. I now have a brand new Slayer sweatshirt.
Ted, you and I have witnessed many things, but nothing as bodacious as what just happened.
I upcycled that t-shirt and made it into a sweatshirt. And now I'm warm and cozy, and I got some new hotness. So you can see I've got that satin stitch going all the way around the logo here, and it's securing the edge to the sweatshirt, and it gives it a beautiful finish. This technique can be applied to a bunch of different garments in a bunch of different places. You could put it on the back of your sweatshirt, you could put it on the front of a zip-up, you could put it on your pants, you could just reapply it to a t-shirt so that way it looks new again. You could put it on the sleeve of your shirt. You could really take this and put this anywhere on a garment. Or you could also take a bunch of them and put a bunch of different logos on the same shirt. Kind of like a battle vest, but a sweatshirt style. Do you have a friend that's wearing out their t-shirt to death? Well, make sure you share this video with them so that way they can update it and keep on wearing it. Thanks so much for watching Sew Anastasia today. If you have any questions about how to turn your t-shirt into a sweatshirt, leave it down below and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. And if you're not already a subscriber to Sew Anastasia, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when all the new videos come out. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing and watching today. And don't forget, I teach sewing classes in my design studio in Chicago, Illinois. And you can also take private virtual lessons as well, so you can be anywhere in the world. So cool, right? Thanks so much for watching today. Bye.